rocking back 1 week later, even though it's a bit about 3. We're here to talk about Avatar. And of course, I'm not alone. I've got my mates from Down Under. I'm sure they're going to kick out of it when an American butchers the way they speak. And leave it to me, Blue Dove, to do that. I'm your host, Captain JD. And with us first to this side next to me, VHS Chase. How are you, mate?
G'day. G'day, mate.
Yeah, g'day, mate.
See, the Americans go, mate.
Mate.
It's mate. Like, you've got to drop your octaves when you go, mate.
Mate. All right.
That's way better.
Yeah. And Rick, also from Australia. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, g'day, mate. Oh, you all
right? All right.
I'm good, Jake. How are you?
Good to see you, mate. And then we have a special guest this week from the Na'vi themselves, Na'vi Billy.
Good night, mate.
It's definitely a part of the Na'vi I haven't seen before. I didn't realize
it's a whole new
so closely related.
It's the indoor variety.
The indoor variety. I mean, we had no idea there were subspecies until this movie. So
yeah, we saw that they had the ones with the eel tails and the cat tails, but they're all cat people.
Yeah,
and that we'll get into it, but they do tease that what the next group of people we're going to see.
Ooh,
it's going to be exciting. But anyway,
all right. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about.
I didn't write a synopsis.
That's okay. I'm going to make it up. That's the whole thing. It's what I do. All right. So these giant blue people come back, and so the Na'vi are settled in. Our good buddy Jake has gotten married, had a set of children, has a good life, and then, wouldn't you know, for some reason, out of the blue, without any context previously, a space cloning program happened, and the villain from the first movie comes back as a Na'vi, and Jake has to deal with it throughout 3 hours. All right.
Hey, can I read the synopsis I have here then? Maybe just say, and we'll compare it to yours that you just made up, all right?
All right. But comment below. Let me know which one you like best.
Jake Sully lives with his newfound family formed on the extrasolar moon Pandora. Once a familiar threat returns to finish what he has previously started, Jake must work with Neytiri and the army of the Na'vi race to protect their home.
Yeah, I'd go with Joe's.
Been a bit better, that one.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. Yeah.
I'd go with Joe's.
Thank you, Rick.
Joe just hit it. It was just he nailed it.
He did. Oh man! All right, so let's get into the cast. So I was surprised to see Mr. Lang come back for this one. Having thought that he had completely no chance of being in this and they would start a new villain. The returning characters, of course, our lovely lady from Star Trek.
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldelicious. She returns to this. Sam Worthington, of course, returns as Jake Scully.
Who really
you be doing?
Had disappeared for 10 years off the cinema screen.
Yeah, he was in like just 2 movies.
He was in garbage. He was in straight
Avatar
to DVD
Clash of the Titans. Oh, and I think was he in
He was in garbage.
Last Stand?
What'd you say, Kat?
I thought he was in X-Men Last Stand too.
Was he?
No.
He wasn't Angel?
No.
No, that's another actor. Totally.
Yeah, no, he was in some B grade.
Yeah, he was
streaming movies.
He was in Terminator Salvation, right?
Yeah, piece of crap.
Oh yes, I almost forgot about that. That was probably one of the only ones other than Avatar that was decent in.
And then
I don't know, man. I hate that film.
And he was in a lot of garbage.
Yeah.
But one thing,
he disappeared. He disappeared.
Yeah. But he did do a movie called Everest, which wasn't bad. And that had Josh Brolin in it, which I thought was pretty cool. If you have time, it's worth watching. It's a cool flick. All right, so Zoltan Dennis, Stephen Lang, Sigourney Weaver somehow comes back as well after dying in the last one.
Genius how they do this.
And then new cast members, also returning Joel David Moore, and who else?
Who else?
Kate
Who else?
Winslet.
Yeah. So, and the new cast members are I'll be editing. Are Kate Winslet,
Yes.
Cliff Curtis,
Yes. The power couple.
Edie Falco, Brandon Cowell.
Yes, amazing. Oh,
Edie Falco.
yeah,
Yeah, from The Sopranos.
Yeah,
and then Jermaine Clement. Now,
Yes.
he was in a show called Flight of the Navigators or something like that.
No, Flight
On
of the
HBO.
Conchords.
Flight of the Conchords. Yeah,
And he's been in a ton of stuff. He played the villain in Man in Black 3, if you remember.
That's right. That's right.
He's been in a lot of stuff. He's yeah. But
And
I'll
then-
tell you what.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry, go on. You can keep going with the cast.
And then I believe Brandon Cowell, who happens to be where you guys are from, Australia.
Australia.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
about right.
he's an Australian. Do you guys know
Never
him?
heard of him.
Oh,
Maybe
Yeah, he's my
lives
neighbor.
next to Rick.
yeah, he's down the
he's
road. He lives,
Yeah.
he lives right next to the drop bass. You know? All right, so let us go into. So what worked? I know Jace is a big fan of this film, so let us know.
You want me
what
to go
worked
with
for
it?
you. Yeah, I want you
What
to
worked?
start.
There is the majority of this work. All right.
Oh,
And why it worked. It's just look. There's nothing new in this script that we haven't seen before in other films. All right. So let's get that off the table straight away.
mhm.
As watching it, a lot of things seem familiar. The plot structure, the character arcs, and things like that. Avatar, the first Avatar, exactly the same. But why it works, it takes all the good elements of those familiar themes and stories and puts it together in such a way that you don't, even though you're aware while you're watching it, yeah, it's familiar, you still feel very comfortable with it and you're enjoying it. It to me, it's similar in the way of structure to Top Gun Maverick in some way.
Mm.
If you think of it from a backstep perspective, because Top Gun Maverick takes all the best bits from the first one. I called it Force Awakens at the time and kind of makes it rework. Top Gun Maverick made it work way better than The Force Awakens, mind you, in the way that was an excellent film. And this is the same thing.
Wait, are you telling me that you don't like Force Awakens?
I'm saying Force Awakens
Well, if you're going to remake
is...
episode 4, Maverick did it better.
Yeah, but go ahead, Jace. Force Awakens, what?
Yeah, so basically for me, what works most of it is the connection between the characters. Everyone works really well here. And the way Cameron does it, we're re-established to what could have been a ton of exposition about this is the family structure. He just gets into it straight away. We say, who are all these young Rugrats? And the way he does it, we get to know who they are. They're all clearly defined characters. And then so he's such an expert at getting us connected with, I thought, the family so well that they were able to then spend the next 3 hours of this film going into the adventure, which essentially, and there's no spoilers here because if you haven't seen it,
If you haven't seen it, what are you doing?
The whole finale of this film is a battle against a fishing boat.
Yeah.
It's such a tiny concept, but Cameron was able to make this epic all the way through. Does it have weak spots? Of course it does. What film doesn't have weak spots?
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it was so good to go and see a film that visually was so spectacular. And then to have it be a good film at the same time and it not have to be somebody wearing a bloody cape for a change.
No capes.
It was just joyous.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Well,
I can go into another 5 hours.
Believe me, he could.
All night long.
He can.
Yeah. All right, Ricky, what did you feel? Tell us what worked for you.
Yeah, look, man. I mean, Jace pretty summed up a lot of it, but I think the whole lot did work. And Jace's gone about the whole. It's a 3-hour movie or a 3.5-hour movie. That worked really well because those story arcs for all those characters, it worked well because how he's done it. I was captivated by the moment I watched it from start to end. The whole 3D visualization really captivated me. I felt that I was part of Pandora. That's how good this worked for me. You know what I mean? And I felt part of those characters. And I just visually, it was just enjoyable. You know, and I think doing it that way really, really worked. And the money and the time and everything invested in this movie obviously paid off. Yeah, look, I had some issues with some plot holes, which I'll discuss later.
Oh, okay, good. We're on the same boat.
But overall, just amazing.
All right, Billy from Navi.
All right. I like that. Well, sitting through this entire movie for like the 3 hours, it didn't feel like it was 3 hours. That was, it actually did seem like it had a good pacing. There was also, I liked the world building. They actually did make a lot of the creatures look lifelike. I liked like the flying creatures. I liked the whales. You know, everything looked like a unique visual. This was the special effects guys did some good work in this.
Yeah.
I'm just showing some images. Keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry, Billy. I'm just showing what you're talking.
So this is like, this reminds me of an alligator gar, which is very big here in the United States. This is our like baby alligator thing. The whale was insane. I see what you're saying with the graphics. It was really impressive. Go ahead, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, that was like, and they did some good storylines with some of them. I mean, there are still faults with it. I mean, there's some stuff, we'll get into that when we get into the negatives. But visually, it was very impressive, and I'm kind of curious to see what they'll do with the future ones, especially considering they said that a lot of the delay that they've had wasn't so much the special effects, although they did do great with that. It was wanting to try to film it so that the kids aged up naturally, so that for the most part, a lot of these films have been in the can, because I'm almost curious about the premieres or stuff like that, because I'm curious, how old were these kids when they filmed the original one? I mean, when they filmed this, if they filmed...
They're about 60 now, I think.
Well, they actually shot over a 3-year period starting in 2017, September, and went all the way through to August of 2020.
Wow.
Remember, they've just about got everything. I think they've got the next 2 films in the can. Like,
they did back to back. For me, what worked, like Navi Billy said, the graphics were incredible. Of course, James Cameron brings you action like nobody else can. I thought the like you said, doing such a microcosm, but so grandiose in such a small vein of the overall picture of the world in that sense, was really epic to see. And nobody delivers it like that. It was a lot akin to Terminator 2. It seemed like they were in a factory, and it seemed like stuff that I've seen, but like it was well done there.
Cameron has those motifs that he's carried on ever since Aliens, though. If you look at The Abyss and you look at Terminator 2
and you look at Alien,
very similar.
Alien, and even he repeats those same environments. It's a motif of his.
Yeah, but what I really liked was one of the sub villains, and that's your boy from Australia, the guy who was killing the whales for that little bit of goo. Yeah, I really liked that villain. That was a different take on, like, hey, listen, I'm here. I got a job to do. It's not a good job, but it makes me a lot of money. So, I got to do it. And if I got to kill some whales from a planet I don't give a fuck about, I'll do it. And, and I thought that was an interesting,
because it'll draw the cat people.
Yeah. He was like, I know which ones to kill. He was very, methodical about it. And then the way they handled him was awesome. So I thought that was a very cool villain, and it set up for the return of Stephen Lang yet again for the next one, because he got away.
Okay, no, wait for another segment to bring that up, because that's a whole thing around Stephen Lang. I think it has to be brought up.
Okay. And how about that? Let's go into the things that we're going to go into now, which is what didn't work.
Oh, I can do that. I'm good.
All right. So, Rick, what didn't work for you?
Okay. So I know I mentioned there's some plot holes, which
Billy's out of the tank. Oh, he's gone back.
He's gone.
He came back from the Na'vi.
Yeah, he came out of his tank and then he went
back into the tank. Yeah.
So there was a few things that and they're kind of like minor little things, but you know, the whole thing with the whale scene. Okay. So you've got his son, all right? They made that connection with the whale. It's all good. Then you have the RDA, which have come in and just slaughtered mass killing of these whales, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big epic scene, all that and forth. But then when they have the massive fight towards the end, it's only the one whale that comes back. Why didn't the rest of that colony come back and fight?
You know what's funny? That is my same fucking problem. It was like, yo,
where's this?
They were like, oh, yo, Jake, you got this, right? You good. I'll see you. You know, the whole colony said, you know.
Yeah. I can't remember. He had a name. I can't remember the whale's name, but you know, the one that was outcast by his colony. I just found that a little bit like, shouldn't he have made peace with his clan and then say, look, the RDA have just slaughtered your whole, you know, family and clan members. Let's take revenge. But he was the only one that did it.
But how smart was that fucking whale? He handled the whole. He wrecked shop.
You know.
But yeah, it was
just like that. And then there was another little one, which was the scene when the colonel was at the bottom of the the ship or whatever you want to call it that was sinking and all the rest of it. And then Scully's oldest son had died, right?
Right.
Then the colonel's made that comment over the mic saying that, yeah, you don't want another son to die. How do you know his son died?
Because he would have been,
did he see it or did he
hear it? They've been doing
surveillance
on that tribe for years, Rick. They totally
but just on that one scene, you know what I mean?
No, because it was too. It's not like he was surveying. Oh, his son died. Oh, I caught him.
No,
you know
I
mean? Yeah.
No, but I'm saying there would have been surveillance done before he would have gotten that in a mission brief.
No, he's talking about at the end of the film.
At the end of the film, so his son died, right? His oldest son died. So Scully's son shot. Yeah, he died, right? And then they've got captive.
Because it's the second one.
Yeah. And then he's got captive. He's got the daughter.
The daughters.
Yeah. And he goes, yeah, you don't want another son or family member to die.
I don't know. I'd have to watch it again.
Well, he just kind of threw me.
With the rest of his squad at that point.
No,
I mean, he would have been. Was he separated from comms?
No, well, no.
Because what's to say someone didn't say, well, the other kid's dead now?
I don't know. But, you know,
but none of them saw him die. Because all they saw him was jumping into the water. They jumped into the water and swam away. And then I knew he was shot because when he jumped in the water, he was like, oh, I'm hot, you know. Like,
yeah.
But okay, here's a question. Then let's throw it out there. Do the Na'vi know through their connection, because they're all connected to each other in some way, when somebody dies? I'm just saying, we're thinking from a human perspective.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a long bow here, guys. Let me draw it, all right? I'm trying to come up with something. Yeah, that's a fair point, actually.
Yeah.
I'd have to rewatch it again to
I just
know whether we missed something.
So, it's been 3 weeks, so you kind of have a lot to think about, and But there you go.
Yeah.
But that didn't bother me. That it's still a spectacular fucking movie. Okay. So,
that wasn't what I thought your what wasn't going to work thing was going to be. Actually, none of you mentioned, but I thought you guys would have a problem.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm going to jump in here.
Go.
And go with my list. Okay. So like I had mentioned earlier, it was like, so now they have a cloning program. Was that even mentioned before? Like, I don't remember that being a precedent in the first movie. It was just, oh, surprise, we have clones and we can download your memory. Oh, we did a little Johnny Mnemonic here. And
isn't that development of a script? You're going to come up with a script. Is he not allowed to bring in new ideas and new concepts? Because he brings a lot of new concepts into this film.
Right.
So do we reject it because they're new concepts and they haven't been in the first one?
Well, it's not that you just set up like a precedent. Like you could have had like a small glitch of something from the first film to say,
know. I mean, the guy didn't
know. He knew
2015.
He knew he was doing.
He wouldn't have known all that kind of stuff. No way.
He knew what he was doing.
No, I don't mind that. I mean, the big concepts that they introduce here, because to me, that's a genius way to bring the villain back.
But then you have an unending possibility. It could just loop forever. You got an Agent Smith
You keep cloning.
Yeah, you just clone the shit out of them.
Which is a great setup for future sequels.
Unless they clone like what was that one with Michael Keaton, where they clone and then he gets dumber. Everyone is like less
multiplicity.
Multiplicity. Thank you. I knew you knew that. I knew.
Yeah, I know that.
I knew it. I knew it. Yeah, multiplicity. You just the last one is get you
dumber.
Yeah.
No, I honestly thought when they were bringing Stephen Lang back, and then they thought, my initial thoughts were, that's a cheat. But I thought, to me, it made perfect sense. And if you were saying, well, they should have given us something into it, well, if you actually think about the technology that they introduced in the first film, that links very much to what they'd already explained to us. To me, it seems like an evolution what they already established. And the ability to transfer consciousness from one body to another body.
Right. Was from the first film. Right. But
was from the first film. So
right. But that you'd have to be. Why
couldn't it work?
But we also have to keep in mind that you were alive, not long dead. You know what I mean? And you had to be part of the spirit of the trees and the kitty people.
So your issue is the suspension of disbelief on the concept of them being able to do that in that time period. Is that an issue for you?
No, the issue is just set up the precedent.
Yeah.
Like if they would have said, we're working on this.
But isn't that what this film is? We've given you the setup. This is what it is.
No, you could have. They could have done was said, hey, we have a different Marine going to retrieve Sully. I mean, now I'm fucking writing the movie, but we're gonna.
Yeah, you're rewriting the movie.
I'm rewriting it to make it better from my mind, but.
I think it's just the fact that James Cameron wanted Stephen Lang to continue as a villain.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Way
he's a great fucking villain. He's a great villain.
And you know what's perfect about that concept too, because it raised the stakes of the military threat.
They're never going to stop.
An important part of the plot is introducing that concept, because now we have soldiers who are strong and quick and nimble as the Avatar now fighting him. It's a way better threat than the
regular
robots.
Human.
You know, the mech suits.
The mech suits, mech cross.
It was the next evolution.
Yeah. Now, the other thing about them trying to colonize the planet again after being humiliated the first time is they kept talking about, and they made a lot of, they leaned on the concept of, oh man, we have such a hard time breathing this air. So like the little kids got the face mask, everybody's got the face mask. Spider has to wear that. Right. So if that's such an issue with that planet, why the hell do they keep coming back? Because it's not like they can terraform it and make it a human,
no,
O2
but it's
carbon.
The minerals that there.
The minerals were why they're drilling. I get that. I'm just saying, I would say come grab the shit and go. The whale juice, whale juice.
Yeah. So they've
got the juice. It's gone.
I think what you think, they haven't started terraforming the planet yet, but I'm getting the impression that is the end game here.
Oh, the way they were building
Pandora, because as we know, the other big concept that was introduced is Earth is dying.
Yeah,
which was never implied in the first film.
No, it was not. No, it was not. Which was nice in that kind of makes sense, because it was like, well, why are they so focused on this planet? So because now
why did they come back? Because now
Earth is done.
South.
Yeah, it's just gone south on
planet Earth. In saying that, you didn't see any of the landscape, the planet's landscape, and the scientific measures of being to heal the planet. None of that was mentioned. They just kind of dropped that bomb and said, planet Earth is dying.
Yeah.
Again, we didn't see or hear on it.
Yeah, but okay, we know we're going into episode 2 of a 5-part television show.
5-part?
Yeah. Well, there's 5 movies in total, right? No. That's what the aim is, right? You've got 5, there's 5 stories.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Do you expect an episode 2 of a TV show to explain everything in detail about concepts you introduced in the first act?
I don't expect.
That's my question.
I don't expect detailed analysis.
I
don't. No. I didn't. I never said I wanted the whole movie to be explained to me from they jump. I don't want.
I'm saying concept.
I'm saying concept.
I'm not just saying you, Rick as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, totally agree.
What I'm saying is, you can give me little teasers and little things that would make sense to connect it all together. Okay, we have this precedent of we can download the minds of our military or whomever into this chip. That'd have been okay.
I think he did that well for me. I very much felt that when they said, well, it was an amazing thing. Now we have that little cutaway to him going, yeah, okay, here's my consciousness. Good luck with that. And that was him retroactively trying to insert that concept into the original Avatar. Because you remember, we did get a flashback scene early on in this movie.
Right.
With Stephen Lang,
and the guy, the corporate guy.
Yeah. So
but we spent so much time, not even a delete, like if there was even a deleted scene in the original one that said, hey, we can download our consciousness into shit.
Yeah, I think it's something he came up with when he was writing the sequels because, man, the idea of Avatar as a concept for one film was enormous. Yeah. It was the biggest film of all time, not just profitability, but execution-wise. I think he probably never thought there would be a hell's hope in high heaven that he could make sequels to this thing.
Especially when the mouse bought him out.
That's right. He probably thought there was no way.
Yeah. And then my other gripe is the Jesus babies. Okay, so we got 2 Jeebus babies. We've got the miraculous Sigourney Weaver.
Yep, young
baby. Out of nowhere, she's pregnant. I thought she was dead because the Avatar thing didn't work. There was no link. She was toast. And now she's back. Her body was there the whole time. It's like, I don't remember that. I remember her like going into with the little space octopuses that were flying around. I don't remember.
That's why I need to, and I think this is one of the concepts they're setting up, and you're kind of alluding to, is the fact that the planet is alive.
Right.
That's the big concept that the planet is alive and everything is connected to it. So it's a living thing. And she is, as you said, she is like playing the Jesus role. She's like the planet's, one
and now
son. So she's now taking, and she's basically showing that, she's connected to the planet on the same level as maybe like the planet is operating.
Yeah. So I got that concept, but it was weird. It was like, wait, she's dead and now she's rebirthed herself, but yet her avatar is still there. So there's a possibility she could just wake up,
Yeah.
So
there's when a possibility.
So it was just
which
weird.
I could see happening in a sequel.
Yeah, I mean that was just, to me, that was just off. And then the other one was the tribe. When we first came across Renelle, Kate Winslet's tribe character from the Water Tribe, she was not pregnant, and then all of a sudden, magically, she's pregnant.
I disagree.
Really?
Oh no, I don't. No. Sorry, I do figure that's because this thing's happened over months, dude. This movie is set over 3 days, dude.
No,
they're there for months and months and months trying to be part of that tribe, developing their skills. She got pregnant along the way. She could have just been up the duff 6 weeks.
I think he's right.
I think it was used as an idea too, as Cameron, to represent time passing.
Yeah, correct.
Because if you didn't have something like that, you could go, well, this happened in 3 days.
Yeah. But I mean, there was no precedent for timeline. So it was just magically pregnant to me. You know what I mean? There was no other. That one thing alone can't give me a concept of time. You know what I mean? I don't perceive this. The kids didn't get that much older.
Mixed with that, with him undercutting the adventures that he was going on with that the kids were going on together. The fact that they were cutting back and having conversations between Jake and all that. I think movement of time was done quite well through that thing. I understood that things were moving. We were jumping weeks at a time and seeing little clips of their lives as they kind of develop. To me, it's also that has to be the case, because otherwise the levity of the fact that at the end they are accepted into the tribe isn't there if it's after 3 days. It's like, you've been in 3 days? You're fam now.
All right, I get that.
Journey and a half.
Right, I get that, but still, a pregnancy takes a lot longer than 3 months. She was ready to pop.
You just don't want these Na'vi to breed anymore.
No, that's enough of them. No.
There we go. You are all about population control, Joe.
That's right. No, too many kittens. Get the scissors.
No, that's how I perceived it anyway. That's
it's good,
isn't it?
Yeah, it is subjective. Like from my perspective, no, it didn't hit, but it hit for you and Rick apparently. And then my last thing is Rick had already he got into it. Why did the Water Tribe bounce? Like they bonded. They were like, yeah, we got you. We're going to get together. We're ready to fight. Let's fight. And then the fight happened and the ship was going down. They're like, all right, you good? All right, bye.
Yeah.
They bounced. They were like,
they did bounce.
yeah.
And I think that I'll have to watch it again. But my initial reaction to that was, I feel, and I mate, revisionist history, and again, I have to watch it again. But I thought that was an understood thing. This is kind of your problem. You've now got to fix this. We're going to be here to protect the greater good. But when it comes down to a family issue, because that's what it comes down to between, that tribe, really, I'm surprised they didn't like all join in to, basically rip the bad guy to pieces.
Yeah. That
but for me at the time watching it, I'm like, oh, so they're basically going, it's now your problem, buddy.
That's what I felt. They were like, fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, we feel the same way.
Yeah.
Whether that was ethical or not from that tribe,
it's up to the tribe.
Some of their traditions were weird anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then my final piece is Spider. Like we spent, Jake Scully spent days learning how to get to ride those like water thingies.
Yeah.
The needle nose guards. And then Spider just jumps on, all right, we're good. And he rides the fucking thing off. It was like,
yeah, but that's not until later in the movie. And again, on time.
No, but he was with his dad. He was with his dad. He didn't have the time to learn.
No, but remember he was little and then he grew into
he grew into and he knew of those dragons really well.
Yeah.
He knew where to take them and what to do. And remember, he was sitting back laughing, going, yeah, okay, you do it your way. Mm-hmm. So he had prior knowledge, which says to me,
he had knowledge of the flying ones, but he didn't have knowledge of the water ones.
Exactly. So it took him a few days, but conceptually, not that different, right? You got to hang on to something. You got to be spiritually connected to your beast. I'll give a few days, mate. If you could ride a horse really well, let me say, if you could ride a donkey, I don't think it'd take you any more than a few days to learn how to ride a horse.
I mean, there's also the water difference. But what are you saying?
The water difference. Okay, I can think of another analogy. Or either way, the concept of holding on to something, being connected with the beast, I think that's more important than your ability, whether you're going to be able to balance or not. I think that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
naturally gifted in that sense.
Yeah, and then
I get the feeling if they connect to a plant or anything, they connect to. Yeah,
right, but
it's like it's Spider, quickly. It's almost like the Matrix.
No, he doesn't connect though.
He doesn't connect. He's a Spider. He's a human.
Are you sure about? Oh yeah, of course.
He's human. Oh yeah. How the fuck is he now up?
How does he connect to the animals?
Yeah, he doesn't connect to shit. That's
what I'm Spiders saying. Just happens to be that human kid who's
I can do anything.
Sue.
He's a Mary
we found our first
Sue.
Mary Sue.
Yeah, Avatar Mary Sue. All right, Billy.
Mary Sue. Billy, I honestly thought the Spider. This kid.
I've been waiting for some of this because, like, the one thing I noticed about this movie, because I just saw it like last week, is there was some stuff that was telegraphed. I mean, we saw like when we see the kids, Jake's kids, we always see the second son and the daughters, and the other son. He's in the scenes where, like, basically to make the second son look bad. He's always so that they can be like, you should have looked out for your brother. You should have done this. And it's always, you could have gotten your brother hurt. And the big brother is always like the golden child. Oh, I wonder which one's going to die. That wouldn't be surprising at all.
But again, you got to remember, Billy, they're making these films too. And this is what I know I'm being an apologist for Cameron here. But this is not a Marvel film.
No.
It's not a comic book film. This is not a genre film. This is one of those films that has to cross all four quadrants, all age sectors. So it's by intent these things are telegraphed. It's by design. Whether we like it or not as an audience member, we can decide, because people like us, Billy, we've seen all these films a million times growing up. We've seen everything that can be told at its core story. We've seen it. But I think with something like this, I don't know how else do you make it to get it so you can attract your young 8-year-old girl who's in love with it to granddad loving it. Like, you've got to telegraph these points across, I think. But yeah, that could have been done a little bit better. I would have liked, me personally, yes, I would have liked to have been just fucking out of nowhere. Like, they spent a whole time on that older kid. And you think that older kid is fucking, and then kill him off. That's the saddest side of me anyway.
Or at least put them in more scenes, because it seemed like a lot of times it was the other three, like, in scenes together, and it's like, which one's not there? Oh, the one that's not there doing all the life events during this multi-month span that's not really meeting with the bullies, the one that's not really learning the ways of the wolf tribe, is he going to make it?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, I barely even forgot I would forget that he was in it. That was like the thing. I felt like
James
Cameron
forgot about him until he got
attached.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
no, but,
and it was like
he's a plot device.
Didn't feel. I was like,
yeah,
oh, he died. I have no idea. Is he one of Jake's kids, or is he just some other kid that was randomly there?
Can they bring him back?
Oh yeah, of course. There's a precedent now.
Probably.
You can bring anybody
cloning
now. Yeah, we got cloning. We downloaded his DNA into the trees. Now we've got a new.
Do they?
Well, that's what they're implying with Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. She gets rebirthed.
But actually, no, they're not implying that because she has echoes. She doesn't remember who she is. She has echoes though of being the other scientist, Sigourney Weaver.
No. She's the daughter of that. She doesn't know.
Yeah, but she doesn't know. The young kid version isn't. Yeah,
the young kid version is
the young kid, Weaver. It's a different character, but it's still
but she's not.
She's not the original character from the.
Yeah, that's right. She has echoes of the original character.
Right.
Echoes of her soul.
Yeah,
but there's nothing. Yeah, it's not like Sigourney Weaver going, "I'm a kid now. This is awesome. Let's do some science as a kid."
All right, Jace. What didn't work for you, if anything?
I think they spent too much time on the connection between the whales, between the second oldest brother and the whales, because we have a 5-minute sequence of him connecting with that whale for the first time, right? He goes back home, right?
And he goes right back up.
Little bit of stuff, and goes back out, and we see another montage that goes.
Yeah.
So I would have trimmed that. I would have trimmed that for sure.
Yeah. I would have trimmed all the babies in the beginning. Would have trimmed that down.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, not me, not too much. Besides that, I thought the leader of the tribe and the wife were, if anything, I was cringing at, and I thought, it was so stereotypical, was how villainous Kate Winslet's character was straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Like that felt a little bit cringy to me because I'm like, oh, you went there, didn't you? That's a bit of a woke. This is a bit of a woke avenue, isn't it? Like, going into, and I didn't know.
Jake Scully, this your problem.
Yeah. But besides that, I had such a joyous time for it. I don't know if I'm just drunk on the fuel of, it's something different for a change. I don't have to worry about if this is connected to a film I saw 10 years ago. I don't have to fucking, put up with a one-night again.
It's a film that you had to be connected to 13 years ago, actually.
No, but essentially, but I didn't have 30 other Avatar sequels. And that's my problem. Like the comic book genre, especially with the biggest one out there, it's constantly an ongoing story, which I appreciate. But films, for me, I still believe in the magic of cinema, of going in and seeing a complete story, a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
And even though that was probably the only other negative I have, is in some ways why I loved Avatar so much. It did feel complete. It did feel it was done. Is this movie necessary? I don't know. But I loved it, and I can't wait to see the rest of them.
Yeah.
But really, when it comes down to it, is this film, that'd be the only negative. The overall idea of it is, do we even need to see this thing? Like, what is the story that Cameron is trying to tell us? You have to tell yourself, and I've had to tell myself, well, I'm not going to know for 3 more movies. Then I'll understand what the story's about. But at the moment, I don't. I'm just going to enjoy the ride.
All right. So let's hop into reception. I think this one, nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to watch it. It's over. No.
No one's going to see it. The predictions of this were massive.
No.
Go back to that. We're going to start off
So The Way of Water scored a 77% fresh from the critics' end of Rotten Tomatoes. That's
a good score, man.
That's a great score. Absolutely.
Like even from the critics' side, if you got
if you look at the critics, it's 401
that's 7,
reviews.
Almost 8 out of 10. If there were 10, reviewers, 8 out of 10 of them liked the movie.
Right, and then 10,000 verified ratings for 92% fresh.
I'm actually
that's very
shocked
good.
At that.
That's huge.
Yeah, me too. Because I would have been lower.
Yeah, I thought based upon what most people I've spoken to, they would have put it lower than that.
I mean,
we got Sorry, have we got figures on how much it made?
Oh,
because
do we have
one
figures?
point-
I
one
have
point-
figures.
Oh, look at you.
I thought you
Right,
would
let me
do.
share. Yeah, I have to share these
Because this was a big
fascinating.
thing. This was a big thing. Everyone was talking
This
about. It
is
had to
fascinating.
make bank.
So this is Box Office Mojo I've got here, right?
Now
Let's have a
owned
look
by
at your-
IMDb.
Yeah, by IMDb Pro. Now let's have a look.
I was just gonna say, can you make that bigger? Because I don't have my glasses near me. Sorry.
There we go. There we go.
There we go.
All right.
Oh, fuck.
So domestically, at this moment, it is $471 million domestic, right?
Mhm.
Internationally, it's made $1 billion, which means a worldwide total of $1.5 billion
That's
in
insane.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. That is hella impressive.
Now, think about this, right? Now this is where it gets even more impressive. It overtook Top Gun Maverick, which was at $1.4 billion, which was showing for months at the cinema. It was the longest running film we'd had in the cinemas for years. Yep. Here's the other catch. Think about this. This movie is 3 hours long. Top Gun Maverick was 2 hours long. So for every 8 hours, right? Well, say every 9 hours, you're able to get 3 viewings of Avatar in at a cinema. Mm-hmm. Or you could get, 4.5 viewings of Top Gun Maverick. Meaning that Avatar has had less chance to make the money than Top Gun Maverick because there's less screenings. You can only get so many screenings in a day.
Right. Yeah.
This is how big this movie is. It not only overtook Top Gun Maverick in 3 weeks, it did it with a limited capacity under what Top Gun Maverick was able to show the movie.
And
so it's
also
an enormous achievement.
And I think that the domestic gross would be higher if we didn't have that terrible entire middle section of the United States got walloped with feet of snow and below freezing temperatures. I think this movie would have done even better. I think it would have been 100 billion. It would have been 2 billion by now, I think. Because it's still
it will get
to
there.
This day, because I do this out of curiosity. I don't know if you guys do this, but I start to check the movies I really like and see how the seats are selling out. This movie's still selling out in 4 of the cinemas that I frequent.
Oh yeah,
okay. I don't do that, but
we're in 4 months later.
Yeah, and I'm saying this thing will run all the way until probably Ant-Man and the Wasp will give it a good because that's probably the next big blockbuster that may challenge it. Right. But up until then, and that's like mid-February, Avatar's still going to dominate this whole month.
Yeah.
Mm. And guess what, though? Cameron just come out yesterday and announced that his movie has broken even. Not profitable, broken even, and he's been given the official go-ahead now to continue with the sequels.
Wow, it's just broken even? That's a lot of money. How much money?
That's in 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks.
Well, that's how the budget for the principal photography in the movie was between 380 to 450. Then you're going to think about 5 years of technological development, which was hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
And then you can think in a film like this, the marketing. Remember, marketing budgets are generally the same price of production costs. Oh. So if a movie costs $200 million to produce, it's got to bring back $400 million back into the studio to be even.
Ooh.
So I wonder why. You remember, not all the money comes back to the studio. A good third of it goes to theaters and things like that. So that movie did need to make $1.5 billion to be broken even. That's the stakes that Cameron was playing with this film.
Yeah.
The good thing about this movie is it's shown everywhere in every country. Unlike a lot of other movies which get banned that can't see it in China or whatever. This movie is everywhere.
And apparently I had read that the Chinese, like the government, isn't super into this film.
They are not. No, it's there.
Last film, even though the last film they opened up in China to show, and they said, we want everyone to go back to movies. Avatar's what they re-released.
And how much money?
And they went, everyone can go see Avatar, and they loved it, but for some reason the government's a bit iffy about the messaging of the sequel.
Right, exactly. The political stuff
it's all the political stuff. Yeah. But this film it will get to 2 billion. I'll be shocked
for sure.
if it doesn't get to 2 billion.
It'll definitely get to 2 billion.
You're welcome, Cameron. Our $20 that.
So the question has to be, if you're not a fan of Cameron's, right? If you're somebody, because I've been hearing this for 20 years now from people. There's a subgroup of movie aficionados who goes, Cameron's overrated. He's overrated. What do you do now? Like the last 3 every one of his films. When's the last time he had a flop? I'll give you his flop. Piranha 2.
Oh, wow. How long ago was that? In the 70s?
This is his first film he quit on after a couple of weeks. But, you know, he just does nothing but gold. And even if his storytelling isn't people's cup of tea, I laugh at it because the fanboys go, oh, well, you know, just simple storytelling and all that. It may be, man, maybe. But guess what? The rest of the world who couldn't give a shit as much as you do about movies, they're getting out of their house, they're grabbing their keys, and they're going to see this film. So Cameron is a genius that maybe doesn't satisfy us all the time, but he knows how to satisfy an audience in general.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
That's me ranting.
Well, I mean, it's valid.
Yeah, it's just
it's very
quiet
valid.
Pause afterwards. Like,
no.
You're gonna fucking shut up, or what are you gonna do?
No, I mean, but he makes a valid point. But you, I don't know about you, Joe and Billy, when you guys went to the cinema, but when me and Jace went to the cinema, there was a diverse range of
100%.
audience there. Like there was like older, middle-aged, young kids. It just created everything. So this is what that movie, and Jace brought it up, and it was a valid point. It caters for everyone. Yeah. And then you might not even be an Avatar fan. You just, you want to go see it because...
You remember, the majority of people may go to the movies once every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
We're different because we're into it. So for us, it doesn't make sense. We think everyone goes to see the movies, don't they?
Yeah,
no, they don't.
No, they don't. No. All right. So let's talk about in the news. So obviously this is breaking a ton of records, but there was one thing that I found to be very funny that was in the news. I read it on Variety on my way to work, and that was Edie Falco shot Avatar 2 so long ago, she thought it was already out and it flopped. And was surprised to know that it hadn't come out yet.
And that was legit, wasn't it?
That was legit.
Really
she really thought that.
Amazing. Terrible.
That's funny. When I read that, I was like, oh man, I can't wait to, and that's why I was so pushy about let's do Avatar, because that alone to me was hilarious. And I really wanted to share that. And I held back on telling you guys because I thought that was great.
Yeah, she's wonderful, and she plays a good little role in that film.
Yeah, she's a good little.
I
think she's the big boss in the long run. She'd have to be.
I think she's going to be probably the one with the most common sense from a military aspect. Like she'll be military all the way, but she wouldn't allow someone like Quidditch to, cut any corners. I think she'd be pretty well straight and narrow. Yeah, but I think she's the one that they have to beat in order to stop it. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I think she's part of it anyway. Yeah, she's mean. Because you do know in the news when we're talking about what Cameron has been talking about with this film, the other thing he mentioned the other day is we're going to get the Ash people, which were mentioned in one line of this film. Yep. That's a tribe. That's a Na'vi tribe. That's all about fire. Oh. Yeah, we're gonna get a fire tribe. Yeah, we're gonna get a fire tribe. Well, I remember that line. I was like, book 3, right? What is the Ash? Yeah, book 3. Yeah. Yeah. So, which looks great. The other thing he's talked about, and he kind of announced when the film came out. Actually, he didn't announce. The producer announced. Well, one of them anyway. Came out and said, "Oh, look, put it this way: by film 4, it goes batshit crazy. Where do you think this series is going? Flips on its head in film 4. Mm-hmm. Interesting. And one of them, he goes, well, eventually we go to Earth. Oh. So he's let that. And then when they get to Earth, they're going to have to fight the Abyss aliens and then the aliens from Aliens. Yeah. It's going to Terminator. Yeah, it's going to go. So to me, knowing that before I went into the film, I knew that he had said, look, this is going to it's going to jump up a bit. It's going to go weird corners. The look at the end, because they finished Avatar: The Way of Water with, again, Jake Sully looking directly in the camera, right? Yeah. But this time, the look on his face was like, oh, he's in revenge mode. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he killed because now, I mean, by the end of Avatar, he's like, fuck these guys, I'm going. Yeah. Yep. And that's what I'm excited about too. Is because he's just trying to keep his family together in this film. Now he's like, now you pissed me off. He's going to go Rambo mode. Hopefully. I didn't draw first blood, Navi. You're gonna find him in like a forest of the exactly.
All right, so let us get into the final glance. We are wrapping it up. For me, I am excited to the future of Avatar. Yes, no movie is perfect, but what they can do with the technology, like that scene with the whale, I'm gonna pull it back up because you had put a really good one up. That looks so realistic. I was like, oh, what the hell is that? Like animatronic or something? Yeah. I thought it was incredible. And now there's also a big air of mystery because we know Sigourney Weaver's daughter or Reincarnation Weaver has going to be a bigger role in the long-term plan of the film.
She's Pandora's second coming.
She is Jeebus. So there's still a mystery to the mystery there, and they have to unravel that. So
can I ask you a question, Joe?
Of course.
You said no film's perfect. Let me put this to you.
Are you going to talk about Jaws?
Better than Thor: Love and Thunder?
Oh,
was this better than Thor: Love and Thunder?
Was this better than Thor? Yeah, it was. It was. Okay. I'll admit that.
Billy, would you say it was better than Thor: Love and Thunder?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Rick would agree.
Probably say that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Was this film better? Did you have a better time in this film or Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange was more lighthearted. I had a lot of fun.
You had a better time in Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange,
they kind of handicapped Sam Raimi. I thought Sam Raimi is a much better visual director, and I felt like he didn't get the chance to do what he wants.
Yeah.
This I actually felt like James Cameron, because he didn't have like a studio interrupting, he got to do what he wanted and to see like the talent showcased.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Billy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rick, how about you? Did you have a better time in Doctor Strange or did you have a better time in Avatar?
I had a way better time in Avatar.
Oh, wow. I was not expecting that from Rick.
The last one, all right? The last one. And this is the one I've left last because we have got somebody works on our channel that put this as their number one film of the year. That's Wakanda Forever. So the comparison, did you have a better time with Wakanda Forever or Avatar sequel?
No, it's Avatar for me.
Avatar for me,
yeah.
So essentially, here is why people like me are going, we love this film because they are just not making the quality of this superhero genre at the moment.
Yeah,
you notice I didn't mention the Batman.
No, Batman was, I would like Batman way better.
Choice.
That was good.
Choice? What do you mean?
Choice, which means it's awesome.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
It's good. No, it was really great.
My bad.
But it seems to me there's a problem there with Marvel. And you know what I mean? When you say looking forward to the future, that excites me to hear you say that, Joe, because this, I don't hear you being super excited about the future of Marvel a lot.
No.
Everyone's looking forward to Secret Wars.
I'm looking forward to Quantumania and Secret Wars, but some of the other stuff, I'm kind of like, where are we going?
Who cares
Where's
about
this
the
going?
Echo show? Who cares?
Yeah, I have no desire.
I don't care, No. And so my point of bringing it up, I know this isn't a Marvel show, but Marvel's been the most dominant studio on the planet for the last 10 years. It was just felt like it was a pressure release to have another film be number one again. And everyone to look at something that didn't have the Marvel Studios logo. Yeah. I used to love that intro. I used to love that Marvel Studio intro. When I used to go to the film and I see that Marvel Studio intro, it meant something. It doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
This is on before every episode of every TV show.
Yep. They really should not use it except for the movies.
I agree. Don't you think?
Yeah. They need to start thinking about differentiation between. I think that's the reason why Chapek got the can, because everything's blending too much. He's put so much effort into streaming, which I think is a big mistake, and so did Iger. Oh, dude, we make billions at the theater,
Yeah. So what I'm really suggesting is that, people are getting tired and they want to see different content.
Superhero fatigue. Yep.
I think what we're going to get, this is the beginning of another franchise, but I think we're going to get a lot more interesting big blockbusters in the next few years.
Yeah.
And they won't be just Marvel.
Yep.
I got to chime in for
something with Joe. Go, Billy.
Let Billy go first.
Billy, yeah.
we kind of called it badly. Like we back in the day, well, just a little while ago, we were on To Be Seen, our other channel, and we did the trailer reaction to this, and we were saying like between like Wakanda Forever and this with the blue fish people, we were like, it's been too long. This wouldn't be successful, and that Marvel would do it better. And
we were wrong.
Admitting, I'm eating my words on that.
Yep. Same.
Yeah.
I'm man enough to know when I'm wrong.
Like that. It was natural to think like that, but because it's been such a long time, it's a natural assumption to make. But timing is everything, right? And here we're coming into a middling phase 4, right? And you're coming to an end of a phase 4. We've been told what 5 phase and phase 6 is, but we still don't know what's happening really with the X-Men or who's been cast. All the news that we want, we're not getting.
Right.
And really, it's all starting. We talk about blending it together. That's how the MCU is feeling. And then here comes a movie. And you remember, the general audience doesn't give a shit about Iron Man, Captain America. They don't care. I just want to see a fun movie. That's where the timing was everything. They came in and they went, I fucking liked that movie 10 years ago. Remember when we went and saw that? You were a fucking 6 when we saw that. Let's go again now. They got a lot of audience around that as well. The member-berry factor for the general audience.
Yeah.
You know, don't discount the old member berries. People like love nostalgia. And Avatar had been that long since sequels that you could be nostalgic about the first one.
Yeah.
It's interesting. This film not only represents what I thought was a good time at movies, but I think it represents a crossroads in the current film industry, especially in the blockbuster realm. This year will be fascinating to see some of the films that come out and see how they go. Some of the, you know, and I don't know. I can't see a Marvel film. I see Guardians doing exceptionally well because that's the end of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I get the feeling it might even be a DC year.
Do you think DC is going to come out of the... Oh, well...
Yeah, I think The Flash will probably be a massive hit. I think it'll be slow to... People wait to see it, and the word is it's amazing, what everyone is saying. I think that'll be a massive hit. Because you've got momentum too. In the next month, we're going to get all the announcement. Everyone's going to get excited about the future of DC, and they're going to want to see the next DC thing. If Shazam! Fury of the Gods is any good, that's going to be good as well. And we got Aquaman as well. If those films, if they can kind of make it work, I don't see it's going to be a good year for the MCU, and I think it's great for different people to rise to the top and tell their stories.
Yeah, the switch, like
Mr. Cameron,
like how it was in the 90s and the 80s when DC dominated, and Marvel.
Well, there was only DC in my childhood. I think we could all agree with that. I mean,
well, no,
Marvel, was Superman the movie, and Marvel had Batman. They were the two biggest things in the 80s.
Yeah. I know Marvel
at the beginning of the decade, the end.
Yeah, I know that Marvel had the. What was that?
They had the Incredible Hulk Returns. They had that shit Captain America straight to TV.
The Punisher movie.
Oh yeah,
with Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah. I still enjoy that movie. That's one of them.
I'll tell you what. I know it's off script, but I love Punisher Warzone.
Yeah, that was actually good.
Lexi Alexander's Punisher Warzone.
Yeah,
love it.
No, that was
really.
It's a fun movie. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah,
so ridiculous, man. When you got those guys who are parkouring and he blows them up in the middle of the air, and the intro to the Punisher when he's upside down in the chandelier, it's an over the top comic book. It's not supposed to be real, dude.
I know, but fuck, it's just okay. Anyway, that's another discussion.
Yeah,
anyway, let's get back to it.
But I miss the days of original things that are not just like, again, if we had 2 or 3 years between some of these Marvel movies, you wouldn't get fatigued. But, again, it's just nice to see different stuff. Top Gun Maverick and Avatar 2 were the biggest films of the year.
Yeah.
That says something. It means we're at the start of change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally it's only good for us. Especially for us guys who have seen everything a million times before. It means we're going to get content that hopefully we can get excited about again.
Yeah, I agree. On that note, I want to thank everybody for checking us out. Please be sure to do all those fun little things like, comment what you thought about the movie below. Let us know your thoughts. Please be sure to subscribe. It helps us out. We can grow. And the more you subscribe, the bigger we get. The bigger we get, the more we can bring you. So make sure you do that and give us a like. It's free. Doesn't hurt you. Doesn't cost you. It is a free thing to do, and it really helps us out, and I appreciate it. So until next time, this is 1 week later on Spectrum Sanctorum with my boys from Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi!
Yeah. I see you, Blue Dove. I see you.
And my little kitty, Navi Billy.
Navi Billy.
All right, guys, take care.
Yeah.